Remember what an improper fraction is?
Like it's 7 or 8 or 6. Like that. Yeah. It's the small number.
No. When the when the numerator is bigger than the denominator, right? So if we have 10 over 8, it's an improper fraction, right? Because if we work that out, thanks, bud. If we work that out, it's going to turn into what?
Mixed
number.
A mixed number, right?
Yeah.
We'll get a whole with the remainder over the denominator.
Yeah.
Okay? Another thing another term that we need to use.
Improper.
Proper.
No. Well, that's just a fraction, right? That's just your normal. If you have a fraction, right?
Yeah.
That's just anything that's, the denominator, the numerator is smaller than the denominator, right? 4 over 5, 8 over 10, 1 over 2, etc., etc. It's okay. We'll be good. There you go. Right? So you got that, okay? The other thing I wanted to talk, gentlemen. Hey guys. All right. The last thing we need to know when we're working with fraction is the least common denominator, right? The LCD, okay? That's going to help us solve fractions when we need to find a denominator when they have opposite denominators. Does that make sense? Yeah. Right? So if we're adding 2 together, for example, let's say 4/8 plus 5/10. Right? You see the denominator, right here, and right here are different. So we got to find a way to get the least common denominator. Right? To be the same. Right? We want to find the smallest number. Why do we want to find the smallest number? So it's easier to work with. Right? Because if we have a bigger number, then we have to simplify and simplify and simplify until we get it all the way down to the smallest fraction. Right? So if we start with the smallest fraction, right, in the denominator, if we start with the smallest denominator, it makes our work at the end a lot easier. Make sense?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. Let's work on this really quick, just if we wanted to solve this one. What would be the least common denominator between the two? What number do 8 and 10 go into together?
40.
40. Good job, right? So what we do, we draw 40 here,
40 in the down.
40 there, right? So how do I get to 40 with 10?
5
Times 4.
4.
So if I do that to the bottom number, I got to what?
Do the top.
Do it to the top, right?
Yep.
Okay, now what about the top fraction?
5.
5. So I do it to the bottom, I got to
Do the top.
do it to the top, right? What's 5 times 4? 20.
20.
What's 5 times 4?
20.
20.
Now what do we do?
Add them.
Add them. Good job. So 20 plus 20 is
80. 40.
over.
40.
Over
60.
40.
So what do we see here, right here?
Equal 1.
It equals 1, right? Because this 40 divided by 40 is going to be 1. 1 whole, right? Good job. Okay? Yes. Huh? Okay. Yeah. Alrighty. Alright, so what we're going to do now is everybody got the worksheet?
Yes.
Alright? So we're going to start with A. Okay? So looking at looking at letter A, it's 19 over 20 minus 17 over 20. So let's look at the first thing. Do they have the same denominator?
Yeah.
So do we need to do anything with those?
Simplify?
No. Leave them, right? They're the same. If they're the same,
Answer is
we leave them,
1 over 10.
right? So now we look at the numerators. I got 19 and I got 17.
1 over 10.
What sign is there that's going to show me what I need to do?
A minus.
Minus sign, right? So 19 minus 17 is
2.
2 over. Am I done?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Hold on, one at a time. Why am I not done?
2. It's like, the answer is the 1 over 10.
Why is it 1 over 10?
I don't know.
Divide by 2.
2 can go into
Divide by
both,
2.
right? Yes, all right.
Oh
So
my
we
God.
divide the top and the bottom by 2. And what do you get? 2 divided by 2 is 1. 20 divided by 2 is 10. Now are we finished?
Yeah.
Box it up. Done. Is anybody confused on how we got to 1 over 10?
No.
Good.
Hold on. Okay. Oh, you're confused? Yes, I'll explain it again. Okay, where did you get lost, sweetie?
So after
Hold on, one at a time. I'll get to it. Okay, I'm gonna explain it. I want to see where she got lost. Where did you get lost, sweetie? How to get 2 to 20? Okay, so we look, right? The denominator is the same, right? You see 20 and 20, right? So we don't have to touch those. So that's where the 20 comes from, right? Okay. Now we're just gonna look at the numerators. 19 minus 17 gives me 2, right? But this can be simplified, right? Because 2 goes into both of them, right? So we divide the top one by 2, then the bottom one by 2, because what we do to the top, we have to do to the bottom.
Exactly.
So 2 divided by 2 gives me 1. 20 divided by 2 gives me 10.
That's the answer.
Is that clear to everybody?
Yes.
All good?
Yeah.
We're ready to move on to B?
Yeah.
Alrighty. So here we go. We got B. Alright? What kind of fractions do I have? What is there? What do you see?
Yeah, plus.
What are these called?
Plus.
What?
Adding.
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 Oh, we can see.
Adding
Who
fraction.
said that?
Adding fraction.
There it is. Listen to him. One more time loud for me.
Mixed number.
It's a mixed number.
Mixed number,
Right? You see the big number in front of the fraction?
Yeah.
Alright? So it's a mixed number. Right? So what sign do I see there?
This is
Adding.
plus.
Adding.
Adding. Yes. Are my denominators the same?
Yeah.
Right? What is the denominator?
4.
4. Right? So do I need to touch the denominator?
No.
No. Okay? So nothing needs to be done. So it's just straight addition. Right? We're just going to add.
Yep.
It's simple. But how we're going to do it is,
2 plus 3.
yes, 2 plus 3 is
5.
5. Good. Now we have 1/4 and 3/4 is going to, what's 1 plus 3?
4.
It's 4. What's my denominator?
4.
4.
We simplify.
Am I finished?
No.
No.
4 divided by 4.
Hold on. One at a time. Let's see. Raise your hand if you want to try. Go ahead.
Divided by 4.
You don't divide it by 4. Raise your hands.
Go ahead.
No.
by 2.
One.
By
2.
7.
No.
By 1.
So listen. I'm going to remind you. Remember we worked on earlier when I showed you. You see this one right here? When you have a top number and a
one
bottom
whole.
number the same, they are what?
1 whole.
String.
It equals
One.
1 whole.
I tell you,
Right?
but you said no.
No, you didn't.
No.
Liar, mister.
And you said 1.
So listen. So looking back at this one now.
Turok na go.
Hey guys, listen. Alright. So looking back at it now, I have 5, 4 over 4. What does 4 over 4 turn into?
1.
1.
It's a 1.
Yeah.
So now I have 5 plus a 1 gives me what?
6. Can
Oh.
you zoom?
You can zoom out.
Oh, there you go.
You see that? You
Yeah.
just bring them down.
Last one. Ay.
Move it to
Sorry
right.
guys.
You can just turn
Yeah,
off.
let's turn off the lights, bud, if you can. Maybe that'll help us out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, there we go. Alright, so we bring down the 5, bring down the 1. Right? Oh, come on in. Right? So now 5 plus 1 is
6.
6.
What's going on? God.
What's wrong with
Just
this?
turn off the 1. Just like the end of 1.
There we go.
One equals 6.
Alright, so it equals 6. Box it up. You're done. Because I keep moving the paper. Sorry, it's a lefty thing.
Doesn't matter.
You guys want to try C on your own?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. I'll give you 2 minutes to try C on your own, okay?
Okay,
Okay.
so
And then we'll go over it together.
I can do it in 1 minute.
Oh, 1 minute. I like that.
Turok na go. Zaida.
What? So you gotta find out what two numbers that number can go into.
Copy na call ba dara?
Mr. I finished.
And remember, okay, just hold on a second. When the timer goes off, we'll work together. Yeah, so you guys are gonna notice on there, I'll give you a hint right now, okay? The denominators are different, so you're gonna need to find the least common.
Okay, Mr.
You need to find the least common what? Denominator. Yes, my man. Smart. Good. Alright, so find the least common denominator first.
You are one.
Hold on, we'll get to you.
Olen kukov tak pion na lori ay.
Find the least common
Come on.
denominator first. Focus. Baseball focus.
Whoa.
Okay. Alright, we ready to work on it together?
Yes.
Okay. Who wants to start the first step? I'll let in the red. What's the first step?
We have for times.
Times what?
Times 5.
So what is our least common denominator?
1.
Hold on guys, hold on. We'll let him try to solve. What's our least common denominator?
This one.
No.
8.
Raise your hand, please. Raise your hand. Not 7.
The demand?
Not 31.
No,
It's
no.
8.
The denominator. Which one?
Hold on. We're on C right now.
35.
Yes, so I want to know what is the least common denominator.
38. 8. 1. 7.
So remember, the least common denominator, guys, is the number that's the smallest that both of them can go into. So remember when we do our multiples, right? We have 8, 16, 24, 32, 40,
40.
10, 20, 30. 40 is the smallest one that they can go into, right?
Yeah.
So you have
8 times 5.
40,
40.
and you have 40,
Yeah.
right? That's going to become our denominator now. It's
Yeah.
40. It's the smallest number that they both can go into.
Yup.
Okay? So now we look at the top one.
Times 5.
Times 5, right?
I'll say that.
So what's 7 times 5?
35.
Oh,
35.
35.
Times what?
4.
4. So we got to do it to the,
4.
4. It's equal 4.
it equals 4, yes. Now what do we do? What's the next step?
Add, then simplify. Add, then simplify.
Add them together. So 35 and 4 is,
39 over 40.
are we done?
Yep.
Why?
Because that is not
Nothing
any
goes
other number
together
to
with 40.
divide by.
Exactly. Box it up. Good job.
Always.
All right. Now we're going to move on to D, okay?
Mr. I
Hold on.
think
1 second.
Why,
D is hard.
this one 39 zero?
Why is it 39? Because so when we converted the fraction, look, we got 35, right? And then you look here, we got 4. 35 plus 4 is
39.
39. That make sense? Yeah? You guys want to work on, you guys want to try D by yourself, or you want to go with that together?
Together.
Together? All right. Okay, so we look at this. Huh? So you can't start like that. And I'm going to explain why. Hey, I want everybody's attention, please, to the board, gentlemen. Okay? Listen, because this is important, okay? When you are subtracting mixed numbers, it is very important to take a look at this number right here, on the top number, okay? You guys understand why? Because if this number, the numerator for the mixed number on top is smaller than this number on the bottom, you have to borrow. You guys know what borrowing is? It's like using, right? I gotta use it, right? Yeah, I need to borrow one from you, okay? So we see here the 1 is smaller than the 2, correct?
Yep.
Okay, so we need to borrow from the 8 because we got 8 of them, right? We can borrow one. Okay? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna borrow, right? So 8, when we take one away, what does it become?
11.
7,
Yeah, 7. Then,
right?
one
It becomes
became-
7.
The one
Okay.
became 11.
Now listen here. Since we borrowed one, we need to find a way to make this fraction
Two.
bigger. Listen, guys, listen. We need to find a way to make this fraction bigger than that fraction. Okay? And we borrowed one, and we just learned that a whole is what?
It's a 10.
It's a
3 over 3, right?
Yeah.
Because our denominator is 3, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to put 3 over 3 right there. Can you guys see that? There you go. 3 over 3.
Yeah. Now.
Now what we're going to do is we're going to add these two fractions together. Okay?
That's 1 over 3.
1 and 3 is what? 1 plus 3 is what?
4.
4. That's right. All right.
4, 3.
Over?
2, 3.
Over what number?
3.
What's our denominator? There you go. 3 is our denominator. Right? And we just bring the 7 over here. We're just going to make it nice and clean so it's easy to work with over here. All right?
Alright.
Because we needed to borrow one. Because our numerator right here was smaller than this numerator right here. If it was flipped, we wouldn't have to do that. Okay, so we're gonna borrow one. It's like when you have 10 minus, when you have like 10 minus 7, right? Or something like that, you gotta borrow, right? Or when it's 0, you gotta borrow. Same thing right here with fractions, or with mixed numbers, okay? So now, we're just gonna take this one and we're gonna bring it over because they have the same denominator, right? So it's 3 and 2/3, right? Our denominator is the same?
Yes.
All right, so we can just go to work, right? So it's these two
7, negative 3.
and these two, right? And we're still subtracting.
And 4, negative 2.
Okay, so what's 7 minus 3?
4.
4. Good. What is 4 minus
Two.
2?
2.
2. What's my denominator?
3.
3. Are we finished?
Yes.
Why?
Because there's not any other number to divide by.
Look at that. Box it up. All right?
Genius, bro.
And now listen, if you ever want to check to make sure you're right, all you need to do is take the number that you box up and add it to the number that's small on the bottom, right? So if we add those together and we look here, 3 and 2/3 plus 4 and 2/3, they got the same denominator, right?
Yeah.
So we can just add 4 and 3 would be, what's 4 plus 3? 7, right? What's 2 plus 2?
4.
What's our denominator?
4.
3. But we see the numerator is what? Bigger than,
Bigger than numerator.
so we can divide in there, right? So how many times does 3 go into 4?
1.
1 time, right? How many are left over? No. If I do 3 into 4, it goes in 1 time. How many are left over?
1.
1. What's my denominator?
3.
So now I would just add 7 plus 1 is,
8.
and my remainder is, what's this?
1/3.
Oh, sorry. 1/3, right?
Yep.
Look at this.
Look at that.
Our original one.
Smart
See how it's the
lazy.
same? So you got the
They
correct
don't
answer in your box. That makes sense? That's how you can check that. Okay? Alright, I want you guys to work on E on your own. Okay? I'll give you a hint. You need to find a common denominator.
We will do it.
I'm gonna do it with you after you do it. 1 minute.
People need to do.
After this one. Let's work on this question first and then you go. Remember guys, hey listen, if you want, if you look in the back of your notebook, alright, I'm gonna steal this one. If you look in the back of your notebook, you have a multiplication chart. It's a little cheat sheet.
Multiplication.
It'll help you find the least common denominator, what the multiple is, that's the smallest that they go into.
What you mean?
Right? So if you look at that, you can see You just go over to 8 and you go over to 12 and you just go down and see what number they have as the smallest that's in common. Alright?
You have to do after?
Huh?
Can we do after?
Yeah, we're gonna do it together. I want to give you guys an opportunity to do it first.
Or not?
We got about 10 seconds left. Alright, then we're gonna work on it.